With this build, I want to show it you can be very tanky and deal good damage while staying on low budget. I was able to put together this gear around 5 divine ore. What's up guys, Pidget here. Let's see what things we got on the damage side. Our skill choice is Spark. Spark is a fast moving projectile that can collide with the terrain. Because of that, our clear highly depends on the projectile speed and the projectile duration. If you have high projectile speed, you can kill enemies off screen and shotgunning the bosses near the walls. Because of that, the real DPS hard to calculate. In the POB, you will see our DPS multiplied by 3, because we can safely tell a projectile can hit the same enemy 3 times before the projectile disappears. We also adding to the mix poison, so we can use Pathfinder to scale the damage while we staying on low budget. To able to use poison, we need to convert our damage to chaos damage. I bet when you checking poison spark builds, you always see old quality spark and ashes of the stars unique amulets, so they can use poison. But with this budget, we can't have big ticket items, so we will using Voltaxic Rift unique bow. Convert all the lightning damage to chaos. Now we fully chaos damage, so we can use poison as our main source of damage. Because we're using poison, we need to cap our poison chance with spark. We're achieving this with a couple of things. Using Herald of Agony, that's 20%. Allocating all the poison chance node on the tree that we can reach, that's 50%. Using Elder Influence keyword with 20% poison chance, a gloves implicit for 50%. With all of this, we have 100% chance to poison. Our biggest and best multiplier is coming from a secondary source. We will inflict Wither on bosses, which is 90% chaos damage taken increase by default. Also we get an Ascendancy node that will increase the Wither effect and also give us chance to inflict Wither. With that many projectiles per second, we don't have any problem to keep up the 15 stacks. We can use 4 curses in our build, because using a unique ring Anathema, our curse limit is equal to our maximum power charge. Every character can have 3 charges. I'm also allocated an extra power charge on the tree, so our curse limit is 4. Curses I'm using is the following: Temporal Chains, Despair, Punishment. If you not use Punishment curse before, this will start work when the enemy reach 50% luck. We're using a mark, Sniper's Mark. We also can generate frenzy charges because we take the mark mastery 10% chance to get a frenzy charge when you hit a marked enemy. On the defensive side, we're converting almost all the physical damage taken to elemental damage. We have 95%. Using Lightning Coil, that's alone 50%. A unique flask, namely Taste of Hate, that's 21%, because we have increased flash effect node allocated on the tree. 14% from our helmet, and we're using a Watcher Eye with 10% physical damage taken as lightning damage by affected by Purity of Lighting. Because we take that many damage as elemental, we can use all the elemental damage reduction flask. Ruby, Topaz, and the unique Sapphire flask, Taste of Hate. So we're reducing the damage we take from the physical damage that we're converting to elemental damage. Using Petrified Blood, if you not used this aura before, this makes us unable to recover above 50% life without lifeless. But for the exchange, we will stagger percentage of the damage we take, and it will deal to us over 4 seconds. We have insane recovery from our Ascendancy, because we're taking Pathfinder. We can use the Master Surgeon node that will make our life still active before life reaching full, making an extremely good with the Petrified Blood. I was surprised how the build turned out. We have very good clear and signal target damage, while we also very tanky. You can easily farm any invitation with this, and you can also scale the damage even higher with investment. I will make a higher budget version soon. I'm also very satisfied with the price of the build. As I said, it cost me 5 divine. Sadly, the league in the state where players leaving, so the prices is very volatile and it can change day to day. I would like if you hit the like button like the shepherd hitting the elder, so it can start spread to more people. Thank you. Few important things you need in the build. Because we're using Eldritch Battery, we need to use evasion and energy shield bases. So when you crafting or buying your items, keep this in mind. Or you can't use your Divine Blessing aura. Using a few unique items in the build. Let's start with our weapon, Voltaxic Rift. This weapon will convert our lightning damage to chaos damage, so we can use poison. You only need 3 link sockets to able to use the Divine Blessing setup. I just got lucky when I was trying to link my bow. Lightning Coil unique body armor. This is give us really big physical damage reduction. Just buy a corrupted 6 link for 1 divine, then use tainted chromatic for the good socket colors. In the POB, you can find a few options if you can get these colors. On a team a unique ring. With this ring we can use 4 cures in the build. Also gives us int and a little bit of energy shield. Tips for crafting this gear, because maybe it will expensive to buy. For the keyword, you have to use feathered arrow keyword with Elder influence. Just buy one with this base and start Reforge Chaos with Harvest and you will hit the poison chance almost always. And try to aim high life and poison chance. If you get these 2 mod, you're good to go. Gloves, buy a fractured base with chaos resistance and use maximum life essence till you have an open prefix for this craft. Boots, movement speed fracture and life essence till you have an open suffix to craft avoid elemental ailment. Helmet, buy a base with spark fires to additional projectiles. This is the cheaper version because the expensive one is free. Life essence spam again till you have an open prefix for this craft. The rest of the gear I just bought them. Important to mention here, you need flash charge gain on the belt. Before we starting the flash section with Pathfinder, you don't have to cap your resistance with your gear because you will have 100% uptime on the resistance flask, so you don't have to worry about capping your resistance with the gear. Flasks we using is a ruby, topaz, a unique sapphire flask, taste of hate, silver flask and a divine life. On the resistance flask you need to have this mod, reduce duration and increased effect. Pay attention when you lowering your flask, because there is many mod combination with these two, but the duration reduce even bigger, so your flask will not have 100% uptime. The submods on these two is reduce mana cost of skills. You can get this from the betray mechanic when unveiling flask. On the other flask, additional elemental resistance. On the silver flask, reduce charge use and cast speed during effect. On the life flask, increase the amount recovered and reduce recovery rate and craft chains to avoid being stunned. Pantheons we using is the following. On boss fights, Soul of Solaris. Minor, Soul of Ristrata. The low life part could be life saving if you start panicking when your life drop below half. For mopping, I switching to Soul of Lunaris. Bandits, 2 passive point. I just want to highlight a few things of the passive tree that you need for the build. Using a Brute Restraint Timeless Javel and we socketing here. Try to aim damage with poison on the nodes. A Watcher Eye with percentage of physical damage taken as lighting damage while affected by purity of lighting. Don't forget to get one javel with corrupted blank cannot be inflicted on you. Using many tattoos in the build. This time I tried something new, using a few increased life recovery from Flask, few all elemental resistance here, and we transforming all the int node to add that lighting damage. We taking Pathfinder as our Ascendancy. On your first lab we take Nature Reprisal. I'm leveled with Toxic Range, so this node was a game changer in the early acts. Second lab take Nature's Adrenaline. Now you generate flash charges. Third lab Master Toxicist. Last lab Master Surgeon. Your life flask will stay active if your life reached full. Gem and Journey starting with our main link in our body armor, Spark, Spell Echo, Awakened Unbold Ailment Support, Void Manipulation, Awakened Undead Lighting Damage, Awakened Undead Chaos Damage. In our gloves, Temporal Chains, Despair, Arcanist Brand and Punishment. In our boots, Enlighten Level 3, Petrified Blood, Herald of Agony, Purity of Lighting. In our helmet, Immortal Call, Cast Damage Taken, Unbound Ailments, Summon Skitterbots. In our bow or Divine Blessing setup, Malevolence, Inspiration and Divine Blessing, Sniper's Mark and Flame Dash. I hope you enjoyed this video about Poison Spark Pathfinder on low budget. If you have any question, please leave a comment below. Also, I would like to say thank you for my Patreons for supporting me. Thanks again guys. Thanks for watching. I was Pidget. See you next time.